Wake the farm up.
Wake the farm up. This is your host, Ande, bringing you this show from May 26, 2023. Coming to you live recorded.
Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove?
Yeah. We be cutting it up, farm to fast. Yeah, we think we might know what is best, but we'd be checking with the rest to see, get the words together, put it on the mic, make sure everything is getting in tight. We're down here at Summercamp 2023, cutting it up with the Scamp family in the Soul Patch, the place where you get your patch and you can unlatch a little bit. Feel free, feel comfortable to be thee. What you got?
Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove?
Cool.
Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove?
You know, we're ready to party. We're bringing the farm to the fest. We've been out in the fields, we've been out in the forest, collecting, harvesting, mulching, tending, growing your food, and now we bring it to the fest. We be kicking it down, we need some music just like the rest. We be doing it here, we think we know what's best, so we get on the mic too, to make sure you know what we got coming through. It's Wake the Farm Up, baby. Are you ready to party with this? It's about to be the biggest hoedown you ever seen. Farm to Fest, we be getting it up here with all kinds of guests. You know, we...
Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove?
Drop a link. You know, check out the footnotes. Maybe contribute to the show. Check it out. You're gonna have a good time, you know? Are you gonna party with this?
Yeah, hi. So I wanted to tell you, there's all kinds of energy and circles of interest that go into having a good time. And we're dancing, we're having a good time, but a lot of work goes into this podcast. And I'm not even just talking about that. I'm talking about all the gardens out there. You know, I'm talking about all the farms out there, people producing food that we eat every day. It's seriously hard work. But the music is hard work too. All the different styles, genres, the performance of it, coming through with it consistently. It's amazing. That's why here, Wake the Farm Up, we're bringing that part of humanity up and up into the homestead prepping for this amazing future. It's gonna be bright. We're gonna be celebrating, making our own music. Whenever we want. Yep, this is Ande the Elf. I've taken a vow of talking. If you would like to get to a further part of this episode, feel free to check the footnotes and click ahead. But in the meantime, I got one more thing I want to tell you. We got some amazing shows coming up from Soul Patch still. So keep an eye out, subscribe if you haven't already. If you can get your hands on one of our really cool Wake the Farm Up stickers, if you haven't at summer camp yet, you know, try to see what my man Jay said back there. He's in charge of the merch with the stickers right now. He'll make sure you get a cool sticker put right in your hand. Look, okay, time to go to the dance party. This is the real hoedown now, yo. This is Wake the Farm Up. Bringing the farm to the fest. Bring 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 the farm to the fest.
was a kid, I didn't even really think about it. I just like mowed lawns. Like, yeah, cool, they're gonna give me some money and I can mow the lawn. Ah, I can hang out outside, look at the trees, cool. I loved it, you know, but like, you know, there's so much more to this. There's so much more. And it's just like, you know, it makes me mad. I mean, there's fucking chemtrails up in the sky and nobody's ever gonna explain to us really why and what is in there. Weather manipulation, like they're gonna control when it rains. They're gonna control when I have pleasure, when I have pain. What is going on here? Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like, tell me more. Like, what pisses you off about the environment?
I see all the fucking man-made clouds in the sky. And I don't know why. I don't know why they have to cook the really fucking weird guy. It's all plastic and chemicals and oxygen and shit. What the fuck is it you're putting in the sky? I don't know. That's why I'm talking about it.
Talking about it now. I gotta hear it. You know what pisses me off is like all these people going to jail because of parking tickets and shit. But then
Parking
these people
tickets?
are fucking burning chemicals and plastics and shit in the sky and poisoning our children and making it so that they got asthma and diabetes and all this shit. And nobody gives a fuck. It's like nobody puts them in jail.
They should come with a warning on their hat. Or better yet, their shirt. I don't know what to think about that.
I know what you mean, man. It's kind of like, you know, there's so many cool things about this world, like so much to be hopeful for, like strawberries and like
Got
fruit
strawberries
trees and shit,
growing
right?
in the yard.
But like, what are they gonna do? Like, if they start like poisoning stuff, like poisoning our water?
We're going
Like,
to
we live like with these like 5 Great Lakes that are nearby us, you know,
Yes,
these amazing
yes, we do.
bodies of fresh water, and like, how can we even let like certain chemicals even be close to them?
I'm going
high
to go
concentrations.
return to the Lake Michigan Basin, where there's ponds and wetlands all around me. Where I walk and hike and think and run and ride my skateboard, surrounded by water and trees and plants, bees and birds. And little furry guys and animals and those geese that shit everywhere that won't go away. They shit all over the sidewalk and you gotta play hopscotch to not get the poop on your foot.
What?
Yes. I try to tell the bird not to shit on the sidewalk. It's kind of rude, but he doesn't care because he's a bird. He doesn't understand the sidewalk.
I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know. I can't play hopscotch with
And he
it.
keeps shitting on the sidewalk.
Like, you're cutting it loose,
Where I
man.
like to walk, which is on the side of the road. That's where we walk. And we try not to step on the toad. Toads.
Totally.
Toads.
You guys feeling out here? Can you hear me? Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I need some like flavor on. You got any mushroom sauce you can spread on that vocalization? Alright, I'm feeling a little bit better than how this is gonna. What are you doing to it? What's going on here? Okay. Yeah. All right. So, welcome to the Wake the Farm Up, Maintaining Ground podcast recording 1. This is the Farm to Fest. Farm to Fest. That's right. You know. So we're down here at Summercamp Music Festival 2023. We're in the Soul Patch. The Soul Patch has been growing thing here at Summercamp Music Festival. It's exciting to see. Check these things out. We got a workshop all lined up here. You can look it up in the app. You can look it up in the different schedule lineups, the different printouts. Right now, this Wake the Farm Up. So, first up, on the Wake the Farm Up show, we like to have conversational pieces with different people. So, first up on here, we thought it'd be good to bring up one of the original builders of the Soul Patch that's been down here for days building. We got Jason Lakota.
What up?
We got Jason Lakota.
What up?
How you feeling? It's picking you up a little bit here. Yeah, Joe.
You guys don't want to hear me anyway.
So Farm to Fest. So coming from a farm, I was out on a farm one day, and they're like, "Yeah, you want to come do some stuff at a fest?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do some stuff at a fest." So, Andy the Elf here, your host of the show here, went down, to the summer camp and set up this little permaculture corner. That's what we were calling it. It was like over there in the corner of the Soulshine stage tent over here. And now, like years later, we got different permanent pieces in here. Some of these pieces I worked on with this fella here, Jason Lakota. Welcome again, brother.
Well, thank you.
Calm down, people. It's okay.
Privilege is all mine.
Look at that. They're like throwing stuff on stage now. Like, how do we?
They're actually leaving.
Tell us a little bit about some of your experiences, like the fun adventures, the ups, downs, the sides, the curveballs of building some amazing permaculture infused installations here at summer camp.
It's nice because you can build without boundaries. You don't have to be restricted to what they make you build in the cities and in the villages. You can be creative. You can add a little art to your work. You can do things that traditionally they wouldn't let you. And that's how we advanced with the building techniques. And plus, you just learn to do what you can with what you got.
Yeah, that's making some funk out, like some good funky stuff. That's how this stuff turns out so funky, fun looking, and so like earthy. And
the building we're in, we used to be a barn up north of I-80, and now it works as a little hot box this time of day.
Oh yeah, it's a good little solar charger here. I'm feeling solar charged here. It's pulling in all the light at the end of the day here.
Early spring would probably be great for bringing some little sprouts up.
So tell us how it feels like when you're out here for days and it's like mellow, quiet, and then slowly there's more stuff getting built and things growing around you, and then there's more golf carts cruising around. Next thing you know, there's like people racing in with their little camp setups, trying to get set up in little spots out here. Look at this. It's amazing. There's tents everywhere.
It's like watching your Sim City grow.
Okay, like Sim City. Sim City is...
All of a sudden, you got 1,000 people clustered around and enjoying themselves.
Having a good time, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Farm to Fest stuff, we're bringing in some educational aspects, just for fun, inspirational pieces that can be, inspiring. Maybe you take some of this stuff home. Maybe you want to go do some natural building yourself, do some weaving, waddling. Check out the workshops. We got some amazing workshops coming up. We're going to have like at least one or two of our workshop presenters coming up during this show right now, so we'll look forward to getting into that. So what workshop are you looking forward to, Jason?
That's a good question. I haven't looked at the list yet.
Oh, you got to look at the list yet.
This was the workshop I was the most interested in.
Yeah, do you have any...
How did he get me up here?
Yeah, hey, maybe we could let you go, and maybe we could pull Nat up here. And
yeah, Nat, you want some more center attention?
Yeah, I'd love. Like we got some Soul Patch people out here all over the place.
See, I thought this podcast would be okay because I have a face for radio, and I didn't realize everybody would be watching me.
It is true. You cruise around in your little work carts and like you're working on projects, but you always take time to like turn and tell somebody some good jokes. Some good little jokes. There's another one. Just like we brought up work carts, and you're just like, let's not bring it up. So you brought it up because it's funny. Yeah. So, yeah, give us one of those Jason flavored jokes.
How do you get Andy? How do you know Andy's been at your farm?
Yeah.
He's still there.
That's how I ended up here. You know, like one day they were like, "Hey, you want to come down here and try something out?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." Next thing you know, I just stayed. Three Sisters, you know, Three Sisters Music Park. You know about the Three Sisters? Like that's a good farm to fest thing that maybe you know about the Three Sisters, right?
You've got how many sisters?
Me personally. Personally or like meta personally?
How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about what?
Whether it's personal or metaphysical, like.
I'm pretty open to my feelings about it. They, like sometimes I feel like.
I need a couch to lay down on if we're gonna keep going on this route.
Are you getting tired, man? You're
I'm
probably
hot.
relaxed. You're
It's
probably
hot.
relaxed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you get cooled down. I think, can we get like 6
Somebody
bags of
more
ice for this guy
entertaining?
up here? Like he needs an hourly icing here. We need him iced down. Yeah, go ahead, Jason. Go ahead and hook that up there and go get yourself a little ice bath. You know the right breathing techniques, right? He bombed out. Like, oh, he even unplugged it all the way. All right. Wait. All right, so, while we're, exploring this adventure here, I want to bring up one of our workshops here and hear a little bit about this ancient tree archives, if I don't mind here. Like this moment right now would be great to have Tom Wall come up on here. Yeah, let's all give it up for Tom Wall. The Cosmic Knot and the Ancient Tree Archives. I'm really curious. I know this weekend at the festival, bringing some farm to fest. A lot of times when we say farm around here, we're also talking about forest. We're looking beyond just little plots here and there. It's like all connected, the whole greater ecosystem flow from farm to fest, forest to fest. There's forest farms and all kinds of things like that representing here that you can learn from wonderful people. So, Tom Wall, what's going on, man?
We're here. It's amazing. This is great. First time. It's a cool experience, Seeing it all happen and all you work so hard making this happen. It's been quite the journey. So excited to see how this all keeps unfolding. But this is really cool. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I mean, I have to say I'm super antsy. We're gonna have a lot more detail on it coming during the actual workshop. But can you share with us a little bit about what's going on Saturday here at Soul Patch?
Well, originally it was going to be a tree or plant jam, I suppose. But then
Tree or plant jam, like something you smear on toast?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Okay,
so we got to back this up a while, I guess. But so what we're going to be doing is florganoleptic music. And what florganoleptic music is...
Can you say that again, really slowly?
Florganoleptic music.
Florganoleptic music, florganoleptic music, florganoleptic.
Right. So it's a combination of the words flora, obviously plants and trees, and organoleptic.
Or an organoleptic. I love that word. Can you tell us about that word first of all for a second? Organoleptic.
Organoleptic is a word that basically nobody uses anymore, but it in short means evaluating with your senses. So when I was looking at some weird words when I was naming my first album.
Evaluating your senses.
Evaluating with your senses, like your smell, your taste, your hearing, your feelings, just like your senses, with any of your senses. It's like being able to evaluate something with that is the rough term of what organoleptic music organoleptic means. I'm sorry.
It's like a fancy cap to maybe the word observation with your senses.
I can see that.
I love that. Observation turns into organoleptic, and you don't even have to be certified, do you?
I mean, is anybody really? I mean, we're all learning it, no matter what it is. So no, I think we're just kind of taking it as it comes, no matter what you're doing. We're always learning, right?
Right. So flora
and organoleptic. So flora and organoleptic means florganoleptic music. So that's what it is. Plants or trees evaluating with their internal fluctuations that are electromagnetic fluctuations.
Okay. I like that. Like people have been getting really into electroculture. Are you familiar with that? Like where they're putting copper around in their gardens or something?
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of that lately. So I actually had a bit of experience with that from a long time ago. I had a grocery store, and I had an old man that came into my store, and honest to God, this guy was probably the closest thing to a wizard I've ever met in my entire life. He could douse some of the most wild. Like if there's something going on with you, he could pull out he had a little pendulum. He'd pull it out, and he'd sit there and he'd douse it out, and he'd be like, "You need sulfur or something like that." You know what I mean?
12 grams.
And so he'd dial his people, and he figured out that a big part of what's going on with that is like like in a hydroponics environment, the water helps to be grounded. Because plants are generally grounded, when they're grounded, they can pull in more of the gaseous elements amongst the atmosphere, like the nitrogen and all that.
Right, yeah.
A lot of these elements we're actually getting from the atmosphere as much as we're getting from the ground, and people don't take that into account as much.
Most plants, like I'd say the average of all plants, they say it's about 70% of the nutrients they're taking in comes in from the air around them.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. So it's like, so again, what you're doing is you're just hardwiring your soil, and that goes into this permaculture thing, but you're just basically taking your soil and setting it up so the plant can be that connective antenna for the sky, for the elements in the sky.
I love it.
So do you know about like the planets and how they're tied to certain plants depending on where they are, they're at their cycles? Like say Mars is tied to oak, for example, and if you watch Mars and depending on what cycles it's in, you can see how like oak will have a certain responding correlation with it, and there's like all these different little nuances amongst nature they found that's correlated to not only just the sun cycles and the moon cycles, obviously, but even like specifically where stars are and planets are, and it would seem that there's a strong reason why the word plants and planet, or plant and planet are
like
so
that,
closely
right.
related. You know what I mean? It's just like
That's a good plan.
right. That's food for thought. You can see that this is like it kind of goes into the biodynamic horticulture aspects where you're basically watching the skies and you're taking even your fertilizer and you're harvesting it from the earth and you're putting it in the ground at a certain time and you're taking it out at a certain time, and you got to know your exact days for that, and then you go and you take it and you apply it, and sing while you're doing it and let the plants know you're there. And it's a lot of ancient knowledge. I think that's just kind of we're trying to get back into, and we're just scratching the surface of it.
Yeah, I like that. And a lot of things that in our current imprint of how to think, what we're allowed to think, what we allow ourselves to be allowed to think, and all those layers, like there are people that have had connections to different plant deities and have given them all sorts of names throughout history, and it still goes on. There's ways to connect with these plants in a way that's very communicative and natural with the way that our dendritic patterns of our brains and everything are all connected through, and we're part of the ecosystem. So
it's all one.
Yeah,
it really is. But so with that, plants can play music, and that's part of this all one thing.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're finding out, and they seem to play it with their electromagnetic fluctuations quite well, and that's what we're here to do, and that goes back into this organoleptic music thing, and that's why we're here. We got some sequoia trees, and I think it's very fitting that this is supposedly the last of this rendition of Summer Camp, but we're going to be putting some sequoia trees in the ground and doing some real permaculture.
Getting stuff growing there.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a concert with the trees when we're done. So we hook them up and put the electrodes on, and it registers electromagnetic fluctuations, and then we get music and we rock out. And
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked that. Thank you.
And you're going to come up and jam at the end of it,
yeah.
and then we have you're going to ask the plant question or the trees questions.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, you can ask some of the Soul Patch people here. I've been for years wanting to have a conversation with a plant and actually figure out a way to be able to record that. And I've heard of these different connection devices that can pick up those electromagnetic frequencies and help convert it into sounds that they can play with. And
I feel that with those sounds that there'll be a fascinating conversation to discover in that.
Honestly, it hasn't failed me yet. Every time I'm kind of just surprised at how it really goes, because you're always kind of like sometimes waiting, like is something going to backfire potentially, or you just as a musician you're kind of always preparing for that so you can try and keep up on it. And every time it just it goes deeper and it makes me think more, and they teach me more, and there is something to it. We had that conversation up in Interlochen, and the students were saying different things to it. We had to guess who said what, and it was so obvious that the one person had said something not so nice to it that it was, we didn't even have to guess. It was just like, wow. So, I think that call and response thing basically is what we're going to be, it's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. And, we're going to.
In the interpretations, like feeling what those may be. It's how we interpret everything. It's like I'm using words that we've agreed upon and learned and have these languages that can make the like sounds that are coming out of my voice, these animalistic sounds, like to be able to communicate into deeper forms and pictures even. And it's nice to think in pictures and just be able to like visualize the words and not always just set them into words. And then there's ways that you were even communicating with other people in ways that are beyond what the words are. There's an amazing thing I love about different animalistic sounds that we make as people. I love watching that are very acceptable. Like yawning is a very way, ever since we existed as creatures, something we did. You could be like wearing a nice suit in an airport and look all sharp and make the craziest looking face with a yawn, and everybody's just cool with that. There's like, that's cool. Just think about it next time you make a yawn. Just enjoy your little animal yawn face. Or laughing. It's one of my favorite animalistic sounds that, everybody's got a unique one. Thanks so much to our fans here coming in here. It's cool. Yeah.
Do you know about the and forgive me if I'm not saying this correctly, but the Ogham, like the language that was based on the trees,
like notches.
Well, it was like an old Celtic language, and all the vowels were based on the names of the
trees.
Yeah, the forest, stuff, and that way they could all correlate what it was because it made sense in that way. Because we all know what that is. We all know, So then from there, it's like, okay, well that means this, so then we know. And so it's like things like that are like obviously a language of the forest, but I don't know if it was you I was talking to about this earlier, but even with like the birds and the bees and stuff, and how the bees put out the frequencies they do because it helps the flowers release the pollen, and
right.
And the birds sing their songs, and those frequencies are shown to make plants grow better. And so obviously I think you have these different fluctuations of sounds that come in throughout the year. So the springtime birds and the frogs, and down into the tree frogs and the summertime birds, and then the birds gather up with the winter, and all these different sounds,
different insect hatchings.
They're bathing everything around us and bathing nature and their frequencies. And with that, look, you can see that there's a correlation with all of it, but we don't talk about it much. People don't get into the deeper side of like what that is and what that does. So it's always fun to come to places like this so we can explore those.
I think one thing that I find fascinating is that what we're going to be working with is a plant that's sharing with us here that is, am I hearing this right? It's over 3,000 years old?
I have a clone with us that's from one of the big trees out there. Those trees are, some of them are 3,000 to 4,000 years old.
Wow.
And these trees are all they try and clone the biggest, the best trees they can out there. So the clone I have is a redwood clone, and then from there we have 3 sequoias, 2 fairly decent sized ones, almost waist high or so, and then one a little bit smaller. And we're going to plant, I think, the 2 bigger ones, and then maybe take the smaller one and put it in a pot here in the center. And then have a concert with that. I think that's the idea, is to rock out with the newly planted sequoia, and then we'll go from there. I have 2 devices, so we can rock out with like 2 different trees if we get it to work out right. It usually does.
Nice, yeah. I just being like inclusive of all the other plants around here too. It's like I know I've seen these plants dancing at this music festival, like these trees that you see across here. Last night, even the songs that these white pines were singing above us, it was fascinating. It was very three-dimensional. It's really amazing to enjoy like two-dimensional experiments, you know, like whether it's like an audio experience or, you know, a photograph or a painting, a book even, you know, but this three-dimensional experience is so fascinating. It's the real life stuff. So
yeah, it really depends on your ability to focus and understand it. You know, it's like the way. It's there.
Yeah.
And you got to be open to it. And if you're not, you know, it could. I don't know. It seems like it'd be a.
Yeah, we got you're on the Wake the Farm Up. We got a thing called Hope Day Preppers. You know, we're all out here doing our thing. You know, we think it's easy. You know, sometimes to like come up with a doomsday scenario, get your little checklist out, go through the checklist, and you know you got yourself set. You got this many little cans of this, and you know you got your spam, and you got your little bunker for this scenario or whatever. But hey, you know the scenario might go this way or that way. In the meantime, we can do what we can, you know, to create hope. You know, like, yeah, it's going to be a really hopeful future. There's so many options. You know, sometimes people are like, the world's got too many people. But, you know, maybe it's half empty, you know. Maybe we got room for more people. There's so much food. Like, I'm seeing, like, just sitting where I am, I'm seeing tons of nutrients. It might not always be how we want it. Like, we might want a donut. But, you know, like, they're trying to give us salads, you know. It's like, there's a lot of different things, you know. How are we going to share a room? You know, we're going to eat a lot more salads. It tastes good, it feels good, and, you know. So, you know, when I'm talking about salad, there's, like, green things all over the place here. There's, like, I mean, clover even. All in the fields there, it's got nutrients in it. You don't want to eat too much of that at a time. You know, get a little, you know, a little funky feeling. But yeah, side stream on some farm to fest stuff here. But yeah, I wanted to thank you. Appreciate you so much for coming up on this part of the show here and sharing what you got coming here and what you got going and how you know where you come from a bit, and appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll give it up to Tom Wall.
Oh man, Andy the Elf, everybody.
All right, how you guys all feeling out here? It's nice and sunny and warm and like, wow, my head's cooler now. I just like popped up here in a little head pocket for my head. So make sure you're drinking water and having, you know, good positive thoughts here as we go into your days, and, you know, inspire things and be inspired by things along the way. So speaking of that, being inspired by things, you know, just welcoming in this first night here at the Soul Patch, I wanted to call up Nico.of, because she's been managing and working with a lot of the different garden hosts who are going to be coming through the gardens here. So let's all welcome Nico.of up here on the stage, on the microphone here on the Wake the Farm Up, Maintaining Ground podcast, Soul Patch 2023. Yo, Nico. So how are you feeling? Like, let's check, like say hi to the microphone here to all these people. Look at them, they're going crazy. They're like trying to climb up past this like really cool cob wall that's like lit up with bottles that says sunshine here. Nicolette's on it. Oh. All right, now calm down, people. Calm down. Calm down. We'll take it easy now. We're taking to everybody. Let's take it. Let's do that intentional breath thing. Like, so Nicolette, you know, like you hear how I talk, so I've taken a vow of talking. Some people do get into these different things of like 10 days of silence and stuff, but I really got into like, you know, I was like, I really was quiet, you know, like I can be a listener sometimes too, but like I took a vow of talking. Just there's so much to say, like after some time being quiet, you know. So like, what was I saying? I was saying some important stuff. So Nicolette, you know, often like, you know, when I'm talking a whole bunch, that's what I was saying. Like we'll just be like, hey, like let's take a breath together.
Let's take a really beautiful deep breath. I love you so much.
Let's get it on the microphone, right?
Okay. Inhale into your belly. Exhale slowly. Let's do 2 more. Just let the sun love on you.
I'm so
relaxed.
No goats to milk right now. The plants have been watered and the fire in the oven is cooking and the plants are collecting solar power.
Good juju. All around you.
So garden host, okay, so you're like, we got the garden host. Does that mean that, like, sometimes when I think of host, I think parasite, there's like a symbiotic relationship. What is going on with that? Like, what? But then there's also like, who's the hostess of the mostest? And it's like, I know you are, like, in that terms of things, it's like a whole different, like, so what do you think of that word host? It's like almost like ghost, but with no G in it.
It's like when
what?
you go to a restaurant and there's someone that welcomes you and shows you the space.
Welcome to the Soul Patch.
The garden hosts are garden fairies that are just helping to invite people to explore these concepts of permaculture and the magic of the garden. And here are some lovely garden hosts. Hey.
Let's see if he wants to come say hi.
Yeah,
He wants to see if he wants to come say hi.
vibe and
I hope he wants to come say
shining
hi.
light on all the beautiful things happening here. Thank you, garden host. Thank you so
Garden
much.
host. Soul Patch, garden host. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I get a host over in the round timber structure? We need a host over in the round timber structure. I'll bench four. We need a garden host over there. Yeah. Can we get one? Yeah. Come here. We got a actual active garden host on duty right now that is coming up here. Here. Let's. Thank you, Nicolette. Nicolette is exiting the stage now and is doing some garden host magic out here in the gardens. The gardens are amazing here. How do you like the gardens?
They're so beautiful. I can't believe you guys set all of this up, and I'm really grateful to be here and to be a part of this experience. I have this massive garden with my partner over there in the Polaroid hat. And to just be around like-minded people and to get new ideas. We were looking at this garden area over there. We were like, we need to do this. This needs to happen.
Well, really quick before we get too far, can you share with us your name?
Yeah, I didn't even introduce myself. I am Gwen. Hey,
Gwen.
guys.
Hi, Gwen. Andy Dio. I'm Andy Dio.
Hey.
Wait to fun. So, on this garden over here that you were checking out, what kind of things were you really intrigued by? What kind of inspired you about it?
Well, the fact that all of the logs that are in there, they're gonna decompose over time, and it's gonna add nutrients to the soil, and it also gives food for the little bugs and little microbes. They have things that it just creates a more sustainable environment, and you're trying to recreate what is actually in nature. And also, little lizards can hang out there, too.
Oh, did you see some?
I did not, but that doesn't mean that they're not there.
They could. You hear that, lizards? We got a spot for you.
Yeah, maybe they're hiding in one of the little fairy houses, too.
They have little doors on them.
They do have little doors.
They seemed locked right now. Do you think they open later?
I saw one that was open, so maybe one of the fairies has been released.
I knocked on one of them, and it was like, who's there?
Did they knock back? Did they answer?
Yeah, I didn't know what to say just by the way they said, who there? I wasn't expecting that, I was expecting more of, a cute little voice being like, hi, hold on, I'm coming. I got pies in the oven.
No.
It was more like, who's there? Who's there? So I was like, Panther. And then it yelled back at me like, Panther, no pants, I'm going swimming. And then, like, out the back door, it wasn't a lizard. It was something that went really quick and hopped over in the little pond. You guys see the little pond feature here? It's beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
But like, what got you started on doing this? What is your adventure to being here?
What got me started on it? Well, my mom and dad, they really liked each other just one day. And then, like...
Okay, I didn't mean that far back.
And then the birds and the bees. Years later, I found out that the birds and the bees actually didn't do anything together. It was like a separate thing. But, you know, like, I was like, wait, they're going to tell me about the birds and the bees. Like, how can the birds and the bees do anything, like, romantically together like that? That's fascinating.
You're like different species there.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just like a vector between them that somehow coexists really magically and beautiful. That's what they were talking about, right?
Yeah.
The birds and the bees.
Try to simplify it for little kids.
Yeah. You know, it's like kids are really capable of very complex information. So it's fun to have simple stories, you know, simple stories for play and stuff like that. But
yeah, but they understand so much more than you would think. Like, that's why we have, like, Disney movies that have death in them. Like, you're introducing the concept to them. Like, yeah, like, they're not going to come back.
You just tapped in it. That's where it started for me. There was, like, this one little bird in one of those, like, old Disney cartoons. I was like, oh, I love birds. And then years later, they were, like, diagnosing me with ADD, right? And at the time, you know, being diagnosed, I was, like, checking out the bird outside. I was checking out the guy cutting grass outside the window. I was checking out the chalkboard. I was checking out what the other people were writing on their desk and passing over to the other people. I was checking out the notes on my doodles and stuff that I had going on my own, like, little desk there. And then they, like, wanted to try to give me, like, Ritalin. Next thing I know, it was just me and the bird outside. Everything else went away.
The hyperfixation right there.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's exactly where it started, but yeah, it's always started there. I got journals going back to 13, and it was like, yeah, I think that my little 13-year-old self would be like stoked about what I'm doing right now and like what I, you know, have done between then and there. Maybe not everything, you know, but that's, you know, part of the journey.
Yeah, and I also think that's really important. Like, we were really the fact that you say that your little kid self would be proud of you too, because I feel like as adults we tend to be really hard on ourselves, and we're like, well, what's the next thing that we could be doing? What's the next thing that we could be accomplishing? And we're just like our own harshest critics. But like going back and thinking like, you know what, my little kid self would be so proud of me. They'd be like, how the fuck? Maybe not what the fuck, but like they'd be like, they'd be like, how the heck did you get here? Like, that's so cool. Like, you're a cool adult. And like, I think my little kid self would be proud of me too.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here and being a garden host and sharing with people all the different installations that we have here and being passionate about it. I love that you loved the mycology that's growing under the soil and the soil aspects of what's happening over there. That's something that fascinated you about it.
Yeah, of course. And again, like I said, like when I came up here, I'm very grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to be a part of this and like hopefully make some lifelong friends. But I'm gonna like end it on this note of like we're all doing something here, and it can feel like, you know, for everyone, like, hey, like, what is it that I can do? Like, it can feel a little overwhelming, but it's like no one has to do everything, but everyone can do something. And that's just a good note to end on.
Wake the farm up!
Woo! All right.
Wake the farm up!
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gwen. Cheers. Let's hear for Gwen. Get a garden host on duty right now. So I'm excited about. There's all different kinds of workshops going on. Right now, we're going to bring up one of our workshop presenters here. We got Brent up here. He's rocking the Macho Man Randy Savage sunglasses. You know, for the audio listeners that can't see exactly what's going on, but yeah, lovely to see you here. I'm stoked about your workshop you're bringing. You want to describe a little bit about it after everybody calms down out here? All right, guys, calm down. Everybody. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy. So pleasure to be here at Scamp, and essentially my workshop's going to be just about how to integrate like cannabis into your home garden.
You said integrate the canning business, like into your home gardens,
the
like
candy business. Yes.
The candy business. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the candy man comes to town.
Yeah. So how can we,
cannabis,
grow our own medicinal herbs in these, demonstrations that you have here are beautiful.
Integrated.
Working the forest edge is amazing. It's one of those permaculture, principles and sort of things to do in the permaculture world is work that forest edge. A lot of the work's already been done.
I'm thinking the word integration too is a very favored word in the permaculture conversation, and oftentimes I do see the cannabis plant isolated on its own in a grow bag somewhere, even of course for years closets and stuff like that. So it's really beautiful that it's starting to have the opportunity to have that chance to be integrated into our landscapes, our gardens.
100%. To take something from seed to its end use as for a medicinal purpose, especially with the cannabis plant itself, it's very rewarding and fulfilling.
So for you have been practicing your grow methods and whatnot predominantly in Michigan, is that correct?
Yep.
And that's a very encouraging state in that field. So that's tell me how that's been. Has it grown and changed over time for you? And is it kind of stabilized now? How that?
Yeah. Man, it's been a journey. Michigan's definitely a state that is a proponent of the legalization of cannabis, obviously. And when you start getting into the red tape of things, they seem to be very reasonable to work with and work through and transform the space into something that benefits everybody and, remaining rooted in the medicinal value of the plant. And so I think that's very important as a cultivator and processor and what have you, is to just bring everybody back to that, state of awareness with cannabis. It's been kind of a wild ride over the years, but here we are now, and we want to cultivate that into the future.
I like how you just cultivate that in the future. The name cannabis itself originally, it means cultivated plant, and a lot of people think that perhaps that name came from it being the plant that perhaps taught us the art of that connection of cultivating plants into their different forms, males, female plants, separating the different style flowers, all these different things like that, are figured out, and how they taught us about the botany of a lot of other plants and their flower cycles and how we can observe them, or organa flip my lip later.
100%.
Organoleptic.
No,
I feel like I'm organoleptic. I think there's some kind of thing I got. I've never known, but I should probably get diagnosed with that. But I think that I don't know if I need to get diagnosed. Perhaps I don't know. Maybe just assessed or certified, perhaps.
I think you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that like a trophy. I'll take that like a trophy.
Speaking to your segue, I think that cannabis as a gateway plant into gardening all the other medicinal herbs and trees and plants and everything that we can create in our landscapes is super valuable. And that cannabis should just integrate right into those spaces and provide us the benefits that we need from it.
So as we're integrating the plants into our landscapes or into our gardens, with that idea, are there companion plants or other plants that you found that they don't work as well together? Is there anything like that you've noticed in that? What kind of guilds can be, permaculture guilds, plants that work together, what kind of systems or patterns have you found?
I'm going to give you the classic permaculture, it depends. It's all about context, right?
Are you in Michigan or are you in Alabama?
Right. And what's your growing season like? What are the plants around the site like? What's your solar access like? And then what are the watering needs I would say in companion planting, we're going to want heavy feeders around cannabis, right? Is that
Heavy feeders that are feeding,
drawing
drawing
up a lot of nutrients?
drawing up from the soil and not allowing it to go towards the cannabis.
Or lighter feeders. Yeah.
Okay.
Lighter feeders around it, ground cover.
And then moving out,
But they have to be water able to take all that water, right? Because cannabis requires a lot of water. So being mindful of the things
mulching.
like I think trees around, as long as they don't shade them out in a certain context.
Yeah, it's like a
do
lot,
really well.
lot of these, playing with the edge of the forest or whatnot. The more spots that have sunlight, the more flowers form, the more fruit forms, more seed forms, all of that. So
100%.
yeah, it grows fine in the shade. It just don't flower that much.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll still be able to grow in the shade.
Yeah.
And maybe just not get the results that you're after.
Right. It won't get that full lush.
And that varies from plant to plant. That's what's so beautiful about being able to integrate it into these, polyculture systems, right?
Right. I like that. I like the idea, like I was just thinking about it being integrated into landscapes, like picturing, some, people planting a couple of trees, cannabis trees next to their entryway to their house or something, as if it was like, just, a nice selection from the nursery or something.
It is a really cool annual to play with, right? Because it can provide, some shade benefits that you might want. It could provide a bunch of different things that, we just historically haven't experimented with because of the laws that prevent us from doing so.
Right. But yeah, speaking in this conversation here now on our theme, Farm to Fest, I know that's something that's been farmed and brought to the fest, so let's give thanks for that for all our local and regional growers. And I'm not going to shout out any of their names, unless I'd love to, people that are in places where they're safe and comfortable. I'd love that,
100%.
Yeah. We like people feeling safe to follow passions they're doing that are bringing
Always
good
follow
medicine to
the
the world.
rule of law in the state that you're in.
Yeah. and somehow wake the farm up.
And then wake the farm up.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming up onto the mic here and sharing. This is one of our workshops. Check out the app, check out the lineup. There's so many workshops that are coming through this weekend. So check out Brent.
Thank you, Andy.
All right. Much love. Peace. They're going crazy still.
It just got green cloudy out there, huh? After all that fun here. So, how you guys feeling out here in the sun now? You guys been drinking the water and keeping iced and cooled, and there's a shade here and there, popping around the garden. We still have our wonderful Gwen.Garden Host is walking around the garden here somewhere. We got magic weaving looms and pollination station down here if you want to sample some honey with Tim. And Chorizo's been kicking out some chorizos from the kitchens over here, Earth and Fire. Yeah. Look forward to all the workshops and you guys coming down and checking this out. So, this is the farm coming to the fest. Waking the farm up. We're going to be foraging around here. We're going to be looking at, there's mulberry leaves. If you guys are, needing a quick snack and you're walking along, the mulberry leaves are nice and soft right now, not too fibrous. You can, get a good shot of nutrients out of them. They say that if you juice some mulberry leaves, you'll get more nutrients out of it than you would juicing wheatgrass. And we're talking about trees and connecting with things. When you're eating a mulberry leaf, you're tapping into tree root nutrients. You're tapping into something that's been standing there 30, 40 years. Where when you are nibbling on something like a dandelion, that's like 1 or 2 years, which is cool. It's very high nutrients, but like something like wheatgrass grown in a little plastic tray, it's got like a couple weeks of information in it, nutriential information. It's like where we get our information from, what we're eating and putting into our bodies, what we're growing and how we're able to connect that and share that. We're part of our ecosystem. If we're hanging out in Illinois eating pineapples and tropical fruit all the time, you know, it's no wonder at night you're like dreaming about some tropical trip or something, you know, you're like, I want to go to some tropical place. It's like, yeah, because you're bringing in all this information that's telling your body you need to be situated in an environment like that. The more like localized food and localized music even that you're bringing into your mind and into your body and your food, your systems of your body, your ecosystem connects, and like when the weather gets hot, you're fine. You know, you'll be adapted a little bit more, just like, you know, maybe 1% more. That's all. That's something, you know. There's foods in the winter that are growing wild that we can be finding and, you know, nibbling. There's so much free food around, and you know, the more we learn about that, it's like, you know, Orson Welles had this whole story about the War of the Worlds, you know, that went out on broadcast radio. People freaked out, thought the aliens were coming, you know, and like they were packing up and hitting the high road, you know. So I know there's this other story that's like getting crafted right now. It's about, you know, the peace of the world, and it's where the aliens came and they're wanting to connect with us, and they want to know if we know about the planet we live on. You know, what are we going to be able to tell them? We're going to be able to tell them something, or are they going to think that we don't know a whole lot about the planet that we live on and how it works and connects and flows? Are we like able to flow with that and connect with that and tell the aliens when they come here that? Or are we not going to be able to do that, and they just think that we're like some kind of cattle or resource, you know? Like, what's going on with that? We can't have that, you know? We need to know about our ecosystem and how we're flowing in it so we can, like, connect with the other intergalactic beings, make sure they feel safe here and know that we know what we're doing. So, that's the Wake the Farm Up, Farm to Fest. Thank you all for coming out here, and we got some more amazing fun stuff happening here tonight, Thursday evening. We got Nat Joe Bell down here is going to be doing some meditational artworks that'll be ongoing for the evening, and we got pine needle weaving too. That's an ancient art, you know. This is like something I like talking about, how a lot of these issues in our world that we're addressing have to do with society and civilization, but when we think about it and put like what do we really want to make sure we're nurturing is our humanity, and things like weaving pine needles together into little vessels in which we can put gifts in to give to each other, share things, and collect berries, whatever it might be. You know, it's something we've been doing as humans together for a long time, way long time before civilization, society. You know, so keep up with our humanity and nurturing that part in each other. You know, love you all. Wake the farm up.
Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove? Are you ready to party tonight? Are you ready to groove?
Farm to Fest is sustainable. It'll come back every year because it supports the local economy. If you got the farms that are around the fest bringing the food, and it's food that is clean and good, you don't have to make sure there's no chemicals because you know it's direct from the hands that have been growing it, harvesting, sowing it, making it ready to come to the fest for the big party throwdowns. And now let's party, right? Yeah.
Are you ready to party tonight?
Subscribe to the show. Keep an eye out for more Wake the Farm Up shows. Anything can happen. Permaculture, homesteading, foraging, funk, hip-hop, bluegrass, punk, whatever. You know, it's culture. It's what makes us human. It's food, what we feed ourselves, how we communicate. Look us up, www.wakethefarmup.com. See you at a live show sometime. Keep an eye out for more episodes. Subscribe. Maybe think about being a sponsor. Yeah, we're growing up, coming from real things, saying real things, talking real things, get real serious. Get seriously funny. Wake the farm up. Come on now, people.